everything. I guess we're just waiting on you to set us live again.
It looks like we are live again.
We are live again. Okay, I am so sorry about that, everyone. We have got our technical difficulties worked out. I will try to make this really quick to make up for the lost time here. I was just going to say, this is the last level. I'm going to be showing I'm talking about this right now because there's not going to be time when we go. It's very fast. The problem with this level, as you can see, all these trees look identical. It's very easy to get lost. And this one, like if I fall off this branch, is there another one down here? There might be, there might not be. So what I'm going to be doing in this route, if I have a route that'll get us all the way to the end, I'm not going to be able to do it on the first try. But the skill we're going to be seeing here is like when I miss a jump and I end up somewhere completely unfamiliar and get lost. The skill here is like being able to get back on track and rerouting and like getting the route back. Anyway, let's reset.
Let's family dog.
Let's family dog. So normally time starts after the first cutscene, but since we're actually watching the cutscenes this time, just so you all can see the plot, I will give you a countdown before we press start, and we'll call the first scene part of the time. Why not? So, let's go in 3, 2, 1, and go.
I hope you all are ready for the idyllic American household, because that is where our journey starts. A dog's life. This is the truest life for any being. You see that yawn, you see that smile, you see that tail wagging, you see this dog digging in a sidewalk and having fun with it, apparently. That's the most joy that this dog is going to experience for the entire run, because you see the reaction to being called into this house, which is in fact the back rooms. Here we are inside the American household in 2025. This is what America has turned into. Thank you so much for this cause that you are bringing to us so that we can fight things like this happening. This is a house with 25 living rooms, about 200 billion square feet of kitchen that we're going to be seeing later. It is truly hell, and now we're being chased by Billy, the son of this family, and Celine is trying to jump over some obstacles. This is an easier version of a room that we're going to be seeing later. The game is showing you the ropes, showing you how to jump, showing you how to use all of its little mechanics. And I didn't see if she actually picked up a tennis ball or not, and we're going to find out right here. We missed it. Okay, so she jumped over a tennis ball in the first room, which is actually difficult to avoid, and so that skips doing a mini game. And so now we're just headed into another very difficult room. Check out how many other pets they have. They have about 16 cats. All of them want to kill this dog. They have a bunch of inanimate objects. Books flying in the wind that does not exist. All of them want to kill this dog. She's also using her barking attack. That's very important in this game because she has a health bar in the form of a bone on the top middle of the screen, and she has to, throughout this entire game, manage that very well, or else she, of course, will take a death. And she has a finite amount of attacks in this game, which can restore her health and get her through without any issues. And if she dies before she gets to a part of the stage, which she is safe now, where she would need her barks, then her barks would actually be gone. And so she would be in trouble, but thankfully she's now at a checkpoint where she doesn't really need barks anymore, and she just barely avoided Billy there, who is now chasing Jonah, the family dog here, with a vacuum cleaner, and if he catches her, then it's gonna hurt. It's in fact going to be a one-hit KO. This house section, this beginning part of the game, is actually one of the hardest parts of the entire game. It's very long as well, and coming up toward the end here is going to be a very precise jump that she has to time very carefully these jumps here, so that she can jump there and barely avoid getting absolutely smashed by that vacuum cleaner. And that's it! You have successfully made it out of our house alive. We do not tolerate this. Go for a ride. Get out of here. And Jonah's upset about this at first, but he gets to go for a ride. What could be so bad about going for a ride? It's such a beautiful day, so many pine trees, the sky is so hideously blue, and oh, this smile has turned so quickly into the loss of innocence and happiness entirely because we're in the pound. This is the stage, the inner pound. The goal of this stage is to free a bunch of birds in cages because eventually they will congregate at the end of the stage and open up a window to free Jonah from the inner pound. And again, we're just trying to avoid hits whenever we can and tank them when we have to. And there are bones lying around that will restore health, and Celine is going to take careful note of how much health she has, so that whenever she has a chance to dodge hits like that, like those paws that were going out of the cages there, she can make sure that she's going to have enough health to get through the stage without dying. And all of these rooms where you free the birds from cages, you have a chance to get hit, but she knows exactly how to maneuver through them so that she doesn't get hit. Also, she can use her barks against these jumping fleas, and she's trying to defeat them while they're attached to her in midair. If she defeats them while they're still attached to her and she's on the ground, then Jonah will do a scratching animation to get them off, and she won't actually have her health restored. Because again, whenever you bark and actually hit enemies, then it restores your health, which is very useful. And we're at the final bird you have to free here. There's actually an optional bird that you can free later, but it is not required for any percent. We can actually just go up these stairs and go to the window, and the birds are here ready to free us, and that is the inner pound. Now we're at the outer version of the pound. This is a very platforming intensive section. She's going to tank some more hits and then get to this part of the stage where she's just going to be doing a bunch of jumps. We don't have to worry about taking damage until the end, and so now she's just carefully maneuvering through here. She knows exactly where to go. This is another incredibly confusing area with 25 billion windows. Everything is just in excess here, and she did an excessively good job at going into that pipe, which has a really unforgiving detection area. Excellent work. She's taking a checkpoint here just in case, because she actually did get smashed there. That's why she took the checkpoint. I've never seen that before, and neither has she, I promise you. That guy was on a really weird cycle there. And so she's trying to bark at this breaker box to escape from this place, and this guy is just on one. We've never seen him be this angry before, because the run was going way too well. See, everybody hates this poor family dog. Even the game treats him so poorly.
The problem here is I'm out of barks. I'm out of barks.
Oh, you're out of barks.
I died.
Right, exactly. That's a perfect exhibition of what I was talking about. She ran out of barks because she died, and so it was much more difficult to take out the breaker barks after she actually took the death. But thankfully the checkpoint makes that still a relatively small time loss, because she was just able to try again, and eventually it worked out. And now we're going to traverse back to home, because clearly that was the best place to be, and now we have to go through an even better place to get there. We are going through the forest, but to get there we have to go through Forest 1. This is a very short section, but this is really important for damage control. If she takes too many hits early on, she's going to have to avoid some of the enemies here. Okay, she took a hit from the spider there, and she avoided that one, and that dog, so now she should be fine. Now she's in Forest 2. This is the place that she just showed you, where everything looks exactly the same, but she has a pretty good idea of where she's going to be, and she's going to be bouncing on these branches, these limbs that are hanging out from the tree, and they're very finicky. She's going to be trying to land on the edges of these branches, because those give her a trampoline effect, and it's actually very difficult. She's landing just a bit too shallow on the branches, causes a bit of a glitchy state where she does the jumping animation but nothing happens. But if she lands just a bit too far on the edge, then she's going to fall through the branch. So she's trying to also do very specific routing. So she has to land on the very edges of the branches to actually do the route correctly. So this is really difficult. And she might have gotten a bit off route here, but she's going to try to reorient herself. And honestly, Forest 2 is one of the most exciting looking parts of the run to me. This is just, with the music going the way it is, thankfully they put some healing bones around so that it's not as brutal, because of course there are enemies chasing. Look at that! Look at the gigantic bees that are chasing us now, because everything wants Jonah dead. And now I think she's back in a place where she knows where she is, so she's going to try to resume the route. And it's amazing that she's doing this while I'm yapping the whole time. Here comes another bee, and she should be far enough in the level. When the bees appear, you know you're getting pretty close to where you need to be. I can't hear the music to know, based on how high the pitch is, if this is the final tree, but based on what I'm seeing here, this might be it. We might be at the end of the run here. The only thing that really caused her trouble was the freaking warden guy at Outer Pound, who just went absolutely ham. He went Super Saiyan. and he took about 30 seconds out of the run. But we're all we have to do now is just climb up to victory, climb up to get home. Time. That's Family Dog any percent. We climbed up the tree, went into the trunk, and we have fallen hundreds of miles through the air, and we're so happy to be home, because home is where the heart is. I guess that's good enough for Jonah, and so I guess who are we to question him? Well done, Celine.
The thing about the Warden, so that's why we took the checkpoint right before then. We got unlucky with, like, one cycle there where he gave us one more hit than we were able to support. And then, so we took that one death. Then it got exponentially harder from there because, as I mentioned, if you ever die in this game, you restart without any barks. So that breaker box takes 5 hits to beat. So normally what I try and do is like 2-cycle it, where if you jump up, you can like headbutt it to give it 1 damage, and you can bark at it twice. And so you do like 3 damage per time you jump. I didn't have any barks, so I just had to live long enough while that guy was beating us up with his net to be able to jump and headbutt the thing 5 times, which is a lot. But yeah.
Yeah, still well done. It was deathless aside from that. And well done reorienting yourself in Forest 2. It's absolutely as difficult as it looks, people.
I missed some jumps. I got completely lost, and then I was like, okay, need to get back to... Okay, now I know where we are. Now we can keep going from here.
Well done. It was an absolute privilege to be a part of this again. Celine has done this for marathons before, and it's just, I'm so glad to be able to help bring this to people in this light, because I think Celine is an awesome thing to happen to this IP, honestly. And you're about to hear why, because part of, as I said in chat just now, part of why the estimate was so high was for safety, but also so that we could give her a chance to talk about what this means to her and what she wants to spread a message around with using this game. So I'm gonna let her talk now.
I'm glad we took the safety, because I know I was gonna get lost in the forest. That route is just so hard to do perfectly. I wasn't expecting the trouble with the Warden, but you know, that's why we have a buffer. I know we're a little behind on time, so especially with those technical difficulties, so I will try to abbreviate this. But I do have to say, the thing about this game, especially since we rented it growing up and weren't aware of the show, this feels like one of the few times where, like, a licensed, like, SNES platformer from this era, it feels like the people who made this game cared about this IP more than the people who made the show did. Because the show was so mean. The show was so cynical, it's just hard to stomach. This, like... There we go. I have to pause on, yes, just have to show you the work of art that is that frame. But this game put in so many things that they didn't have to. Like, there's a high jump, there's a long jump. There's actually, the only reason we were able to get the vacuum cleaner part on the first try is because there's a diagonal high and long jump where you hold up and forward at the same time. I don't know why they implemented that. Or like this mechanic right here, right? So I'm standing up. I can crouch, which doesn't really do a lot. Now I'm sitting after that. This does nothing as far as your hitbox. This does absolutely, like, this versus this, identical. And so we've got the barking, it comes from this point. They put in a special, like, a different sprite for if you bark while sitting down. See that? It doesn't make any difference. It comes from the same height. It is like, they did not need to do that for any reason. It is such a stupid little thing. But I noticed, and precisely because it's such a stupid little thing, to me, that just means, like, whoever made this game cared. And, like someone made this game because they cared. And we played this game because we cared. Which is why I said in the beginning, like, even in a franchise like Family Dog, that's normally so cynical that even the 90s rejected it, our stream catchphrase, we run the Warm Fuzzy Game Room, our slogan is act with love and sincerity. You can do that even in the Family Dogs of the world And here in this darkest timeline, I thank you all for doing that. I thank you all for your support for the Transgender Law Center,
Yes.
for all the lovely games we're playing, all the lovely games we've seen so far, all the lovely games we're about to see. I will sign off and let you get to those without further ado, but just thank you everyone, and life is way too short to spend chasing being cool. Try being warm instead. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you so much, and we'll see you around.